Coming up on ATV News.
You may know the dangers of texting and driving, but safety may only be a click away. We'll tell you why you should keep both hands on the wheel.
Black History Month is wrapping up. We'll show you how it's evolving.
Are you true to your high school? What if you had to switch schools halfway through?
In sports, the women's basketball team shot horribly in the first half. We'll show you how they still pulled out the victory.
In weather, my buddy here's in critical condition. We'll see if he lives through spring break.
All that and more coming up on ATV News. Welcome to ATV News. I'm Caroline Peterson.
And I'm Connor Comeau. Chatham Senator Nicholas Clason may have lost his campaign for executive vice president, but it is his current position that may be in trouble. Last week, the USU Student Association voted to bring Clason's behavior before a review board, but were unable to show enough evidence for an impeachment.
The issue was not that Senator Clason went to the media. That was perfectly fine. But the steps that would allow him to get to that point, there were a few things as an officer that he was required to abide by before he took that step.
Clason was asked to publicly apologize, which he did via Twitter and Instagram. The USU Student Association is now looking to change how many votes it takes to put a fellow student leader on probation. To have your voice heard regarding the change to the Constitution, follow the link on our website labeled My Voice.
What did you learn about Black History Month? How much did you already know before? Our Tori Green is live in the newsroom to tell you a little about the history. Tori?
Hey, thanks, Caroline. Hey, guys. Black History Month is just a great time to really get a good insight about Black History Month because there's just so much to learn.
You know, just a little bit of attitude, because you don't want to come off as one of those average black girls and come off as rude. You know, popping their gum and shaking their neck. Yeah, because those black girls get like no respect.
The USU Black Student Union finished up Black History Month by watching a video of a young woman's poem called The Average Black Girl. In the past, we learned about inventors and accomplishments, George Washington Carver and his 105 ways to grow peanuts, or even George Edward Alcorn, who invented the X-ray spectrometer, and Garrett Morgan.
If you don't know who Garrett Morgan is, well, he created that, the traffic light. Although you may hate getting stuck at a red light, you gotta say, it is nice to go through an intersection without getting hit.
Black History Month is more than just accomplishments, but it can remind us about the racial issues that still exist.
In and of itself, you need to teach that, because that helps explain why we have discrimination since. Is that some people have never gotten beyond the idea of racial superiority.
Black Student Union President Janae Roberts organized a soul food dinner here, but in the past, she did different to celebrate Black History Month.
I live in Brooklyn, New York, and we usually have like programs on television. We have school functions. We have protests going on and activist movements going on all throughout the city during Black History Month.
Even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream.
What Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. accomplished is still in the process, and the battle is still being fought until our nation gets on one accord.
This is a battle for equality, and so that's one of the reasons that I like to remember Black History Month every February, is it's just a good reminder to say we're still in the process of trying our best to guarantee rights to all Americans.
According to Professor Rosenband, cotton, tobacco, and slave trade were the growth of our early nation.
If America is seen as part of the 18th century Atlantic and 19th century Atlantic economy. Those black hands were the instrumental hands in keeping early America prosperous.
So remember, when you're at a baseball game and you have those peanuts, George Washington Carver did a lot of things so you can do more than just munch on them.
Tori, you grew up in California. How is Black History Month different down there rather than here in Utah?
Well, you know, I'm from Southern California and we do celebrate it, but to be honest, we don't do a lot to educate it.
Thanks, Tori.
If you think that Cache Valley gets more and more credit each year, you're not alone. The Cache County School District is building 2 new high schools to address population growth. Christopher Campbell brings you the story.
Then they have to come to the middle.
Some sophomores in this Mountain Crest classroom won't attend the same high school when they're seniors. They'll go to this high school being built in Millville.
I have mixed feelings about it. All my best friends are going to be going to this high school for senior year, and I kind of want my senior year to be awesome.
I'm actually really excited to go to Millville High, because who wouldn't want to be the first graduating class from a high school that was just barely built? And it saves a lot more gas for me personally because I live in Millville.
The new high school makes up part of a $129 million Cache County School District bond passed in 2013. $46 million will go towards it, and $42 million will be spent on another high school in North Logan. The bond also includes a new elementary school in Lewiston and a new Cache High School. The rest of the money will go towards renovations on middle and elementary schools in the district. Deputy Superintendent Michael Lichty said to address population growth, the school board originally planned to expand the high schools that were already there.
So when we looked down the road, we felt like the better answer for long-term housing of students is build 2 additional high schools. That'll solve high school population growth for many, many years in our district.
While new schools will certainly bring about new classrooms like this, Lichty said it won't necessarily reduce class size. However, it will affect the amount of students who walk down these hallways.
We're funded on teachers just simply based on population of kids.
Christopher Campbell, ATV News.
The high school in Millville will open in August 2016. The one in North Logan will be completed the following year.
Do you have any plans for spring break? Well, if you're driving to get to them, you may need to look out for more than just the questionable weather. For the first time in 6 years, there was an increase in the number of deaths on Utah roads. But according to the new statistics from the group Zero Fatalities, it is a much older device that could save your life. In 2014, there were 72 deaths that may have been prevented by wearing a seat belt, and 70 caused by alcohol or drugs. If you plan on being on the road during the break, you can find a link on our website to help you find the safest route. But remember to pull over before you do. Coming up, a local grocery store in Cache Valley is jumping on the online ordering bandwagon. We'll let you know how the system is the first of its kind in Logan.
Do you own a pet? A new option that could help you if you ever have to say goodbye.
Sorry, I've got big ideas.
As a college student, you have big ideas to make a big difference on campus. Why not get funding for those ideas in a big way? The Blue Goes Green Grant provides funding for student sustainability projects. These projects help USU students be more environmentally responsible, live healthier, and save money. To find out more, go to usu.edu/BGG. Get funding for your Blue Goes Green idea in a big way. Blue Goes Green. Make a difference.
Welcome back. A death in the family can be difficult, and for some people, this includes pets. We bring you the story of a new option that can help you with your grieving process.
You're my best friend.
Logan resident Raquel Clausius doesn't think her 2 dogs, Jackson and Lila, are just pets. To her, they are family.
I am an animal lover. Yes. They're my babies. You want it? They're just so sweet. And they're good company.
Raquel isn't alone when it comes to her love for animals. There are a total of 122 million households in the U.S. 82.5 million of these households own a pet, and of these, 85% experience some form of grief with the death of an animal. Luckily for animal lovers like Raquel, you won't have to go through the grieving process alone. Now what you can do is pick up your phone. USU professor Stephen Lucero has introduced a new pet hotline.
Sometimes people don't understand when it's an animal. They don't get the human-animal bond, or they don't understand the relationship that person might have had with that companion animal that they lost. And so specifically, we provide that role for people who might not be able to otherwise get support.
Veterinary medical students are available 24/7 to assist you with any needs.
Sometimes the grieving process can go on for an extended period, and if they need us 6 months, 8 months, a year down the line, we would like to be there, and hopefully the program will be in place to provide that support for them in the future.
If you experience an unexpected animal death in your family and need help, this hotline might benefit you. If you are hesitant to call, you can also email. We will have more information on the pet hotline. Just visit our website at www.aggietvnews.com.
How would you like to do grocery shopping from your own couch? Well, now you can. A local grocery store has introduced a new online ordering service. We take you there to show you how it works. This is what we are used to when we go to the store. But with the new online ordering system in effect, customers can now shop for their groceries right from their very own home.
This is a service that we've added to the services we already provide in order to give our guests the best possible experience that they can have shopping in our stores.
With the new system, customers can either pick up their items in store or have them delivered to their house for a fee of $3.99 on top of whatever their groceries cost.
The goal is to provide a service to our current customers as well as those that may be shopping other places. So the goal is to be convenient for them and offer them another service that they can have at our store.
With the new online ordering system, it's now easier for customers to make orders. They can either come to the store and pick up their order, or they can have it delivered to their home for a small fee, making the process as smooth as cheese. These hopes the new system will help them be more competitive with other big box stores like Walmart and Smith's. It is also designed to help with customer satisfaction, but some are skeptical of the new system.
I prefer to go to the grocery store just because I like to pick out my groceries, but I understand that for older individuals or individuals with disabilities that ordering them online is definitely an easier and more accessible option.
Even with some of the criticisms that may come with the system, the store continues to be a local favorite and hopes to have more customers take advantage of it.
It's a program for our guests so that we can continue to offer them the best service and the best products in a new and updated way, so that we can reach out to more customers, more guests who don't usually shop with us.
The online ordering service is in use for the Logan store, but the Smithfield and Ogden locations will not have the service until later this year.
Gas prices seemed to only be going one direction, up, up, and up. But 2015 might be a little different. Our Alicia Facer went out to show you the numbers.
Just 5 years ago, or 10 years ago, the U.S. was producing about 5 million barrels a day, 5-6 million barrels a day, and we consumed about 19 million barrels a day.
Because of the high demand, the question arose, would the U.S. run out of oil?
Now the U.S. is the largest producer of crude oil and natural gas liquids in the entire world. They've surpassed Saudi Arabia and Russia just in 2014.
This helped the gas prices get where they are today. The lower prices bring in more money and traffic flow to gas stations like Smith's.
Managers will come out and be like, and tell us, oh, we're #1 in our district.
Lower gas prices affect everyone, but especially college students. Lower prices mean fewer visits, more money saved, and more time to play.
It helps me to save money, and being a college student, I get to travel a lot more than usual because I only have a job. I work in the summer, so the money I have usually goes towards gas and food.
The lower the numbers, the less you have to fill up your tank.
Well, there's more money to save if I'm not putting it into gas.
I've been traveling a lot more now than I was before, which is really nice. I get to do a lot more things.
Alicia Facer, ATV News.
So Caroline, what do you think about the low gas prices?
You know, I really am enjoying the low prices. And speaking of low prices, what about low temperatures in the forecast? Let's check in with Christopher Campbell live on the quad and see how the weather is out there. Chris?
Thanks, guys. While you guys are sitting in that nice warm room, I'm standing out here in the brisk 34-degree weather. Coming up, will it change for spring break, or will you want to fly south?
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
Welcome back. So, Chris, spring break is coming up.
Heck yes, it is.
Yeah, I would like some warm weather for spring break. Can you give that to us?
Well, I mean, I'm not God, but I'm sure we can look at what he's got planned for spring break. Let's first look at the national radar right here. Oh, holy big storm everywhere east of us, Batman. It's a big storm. And we can really use that here in Utah for the crops in the summer. Let's look at the state radar right here. Nope, still nothing. I thought there might be a change, but no. Yeah, there's no storms there. Well, I guess as Batman would say, that's the storm we need, not the one we deserve right now. All right, so let's take a look at at what spring break's gonna look like. All right, so here's a 7-day forecast. Today is the coldest it's gonna be for this whole week. And it's gonna get progressively warmer. By Tuesday, which is part of the start of spring break, it's gonna be almost 60 degrees out there. That's practically a sauna, guys. All right, so let's take a look at the rest of spring break. Let's see how that all pans out. Looks a little bit colder, a little cloudier. There's light showers on Thursday and again on Monday. But other than that, it's going to be an okay. At the worst, we're just going to have to wear some jackets. So yeah, weather looks like it'll be all right for you guys.
Very nice. I like having a warm spring break. And speaking of warm, the men's basketball team is not only warm, they're red hot right now, aren't they, Brad?
Yeah, and the men's basketball team is looking good, and I think they're doing it a little bit for Stu Morrill, who is heading into his final home game in the Spectrum. It'll be his last hurrah. Show you more about it in sports.
Need an adventure? The Outdoor Recreation Program at USU offers a wide variety of rental equipment, from winter gear like skis, snowshoes, and snowboards, to summer must-haves like kayaks, rafts, and camping gear. From sleeping bags to Dutch oven necessities, we have it all. So stop in and see us. located at 950 East, 1000 North, in the basement of the distribution building behind Romney Stadium. We're open Mondays through Fridays, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So stop in or call to get your gear today.
Welcome back. The men's and women's basketball teams are in the final week of the regular season, and the women's hosted the Cadets of Air Force Saturday afternoon. As you can see here, the Aggies started off, they just struggled. They could not get the ball to go in. Close shots, anything on there. They even tried the three, they tried the bucket. They went 1 for 6 in the first possession of the game. They got a lot of offensive rebounds. Tyler Clark finally ended the scoring drought, got the layup right there. And Air Force said, you know what, we can score as well, even if it is off of a lucky bounce off the rim. They get the buckets there, but they also couldn't make any shots, as both teams could not make anything. They were 25% each in the first half. Second half, things were a little bit different for the Aggies, but Air Force kept struggling. And the Aggies were able to start scoring buckets in the second half. And you know, let's just pause it right here. I feel really bad showing this footage. It's just Air Force had a terrible shooting performance. They went 4 for 23. That's 17% from the field in the second half, as the Aggies rolled over them 80-54. The Aggies also had a block party with 6 from Tiana Dukic. Let's hear what she had to say about that.
Well, they were short, so I managed.
I really challenge our post players that if we're going to do anything down the stretch here and have a chance in the conference tournament, we have to have post presence. We have to control 10 feet to the hoop. We have to run the floor.
Up next were the Wyoming Cowgirls, and the Aggies started off pretty strong here as Julian Onkling passed it to Funda Nakasaglu for the 3 right there. But Wyoming, they were also saying, you know what, this isn't going to be an offensive game. It's defense, as Kayla Woodward says, no, right there. But the Aggies, you know, they have their own kind of defense. As Taylor Clark runs down on the fast break, draws the charge. But Wyoming had a game. It was a very aggressive, physical game. And the Aggies they couldn't get any buckets in this half, but at least gets the offensive rebound and puts it up off a nifty kiss off the glass in the reverse. The Aggies trailed this game almost the whole time, but they kept coming back, and in the second half, they had a chance. And Funda Nakasaglu passes it to Tyler Clark, who cannot hit the bucket. Elise can't hit the bucket, and it was a struggle all day down the final stretch for the Aggies. But Funda does drive it there a little bit. She does get a 3-point play towards the end, but the Aggies just could not get it. In the end, Wyoming ended up winning the game by 4. The Aggies had a much more competitive game this time after they lost by more than 30 points on the road in Laramie. Here's what head coach Jerry Finkbeiner had to say about the game.
I thought the difference of the game is that we only had 6 fast break points, and we can't play half-court basketball. And they just control the tempo on it, and that's their game, and we just could never get out and get a break.
Utah State is on the road for its final game of the regular season at Fort Collins. Then they head to Las Vegas for the Mountain West Tournament on Monday. And even though they don't have a good record, Finkbeiner says he feels the team has a good chance of beating everyone else down there. Stu Morrill, you may recognize that name. And if you haven't, you've likely lived under a rock for the past 29 years, or you really just don't care about sports. But as Stu enters the final stretch of his career, let's take a look at some of the numbers from his life. But here we have Stu, walking, patrolling the sideline as he has done at Utah State for the past 17 years, getting after his players, showing it. And right here, ref calls a bad call. Well, at least Stu thinks so. You can see the disbelief on his face. Even looks like he mumbles the words, wow. But you know what? Let's look at those numbers that I talked about. He's had a total of 620 career victories in his 29 years as a head coach, of which 402 have come at Utah State. Only 8 teams active that have that type of record. He's got 14 21-win seasons at USU and 13 straight postseason appearances, all records at USU. Morrill is set to coach his final game in the Spectrum Saturday as the Aggies host the Rams of Colorado State. Back to you, Connor.
Thanks, Brad. When we come back, USU can make money with your garbage if it's thrown away to the right place. We'll show you what your trash is capable of. Utah State University is doing what it can to be less trashy and recycle more. A national university competition, Recyclemania, started in February to raise awareness on recycling. We have Jamie Son live on campus to show us what we can do. Jamie?
Thanks, Connor. As you can see, there is a lot of recyclables in the trash bin, and there is a recyclable bin right next to it too. So what we can do to help is simply knowing which bin this goes into.
The student is sorting what you put in recycle bins at USU. There's a lot of work here, but according to Nathan Schwartz, USU's Recycling and Waste Coordinator, it can handle more.
We have a goal to get 35% of all waste to be recycled. Right now we're probably between 15 and 20%.
Schwartz says an estimated 65% of waste at USU can be recycled.
This aluminum can save enough energy to run this computer screen for 3 solid hours if you recycle.
We saw money being thrown away, no pun intended. It's kind of a dirty industry, but this jacket I'm wearing actually is made from a water bottle. This hat is made from a recycled water bottle.
To cut down on the waste, it's important to keep the 3 R's in mind: reduce, reuse, and recycle. Since the beginning of February, USU is participating in a nationwide 8-week competition called Recyclemania. There are 10 categories, 8 based on recycling and trash rates, and 2 new this year based on student engagement. This is the 4th week since the competition began, and as of last week, USU is 2nd place behind BYU in Utah. USU has stepped up the game this year by replacing all the recycle bins with easier, noticeable lids in the academic buildings.
When you do have a plastic bottle or a can or something, just remember which bin it goes in. It's pretty simple, and we're trying to make it as easy as possible.
It sounds easy, but when it's not done, possible money-making recyclables become trash.
Sometimes people put their garbage plus recycling in, and it goes in the recycling, and then it all kind of turns into garbage because it gets contaminated.
We can reuse everything that we create, and that's the way we need to start thinking about it, because if we want to be here in 50 years.
Hopefully they don't have an end of life where they end in the landfill, like that they just keep going back into the cycle and creating more things that people need.
Well, we're doing really well on the waste minimization category, but you guys, we are still behind BYU. We've got to step it up. Back to you guys.
Well, I'm trying to get caught up on my recycling habits. I know how important it is to recycle. Thanks, Jamie.
That's it for this edition of ATV News.
That's it. You can catch all the latest news at our new website. Just visit www.aggietvnews.com. We leave you now with a shot of the Aggie Drummers. Have a safe spring break.
Imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read. 'Cause every kid across the nation deserves a book to read, and we can make it happen right now. No, I don't know what you've been told, but kids with books learn so much more. So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child. So let's join hands, book people unite, unearth hidden passion. Come on, have a good time. Seeds of inspiration to motivate some magic. To change the writing on the wall, writing on the wall. And make a difference. One book can inspire a child. One book can be the first thing that helps to change a life. People unite.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.